Hello, my name is Benjamin Kuang and I'll be discussing whether someone's personal traits such as extroversion and openness be accurately reflected in their use of social media. So the perspective I took upon this to discuss this was to look at the relationship between the degree of extroversion in an individual and his or her degree of extroversion online. As well as this, the reasons why people use social media and how we even manage to quantify and determine one's personality on social media. So why do we use social media? So we need to look at the reason behind why people use social media as well as how and how much time they spend on it. There's a plethora of reasons for the use of SNSs, so that's social network sites such as seeking information. This refers to the process of finding information about products, services, and keeping up to date with real-world social events. Means of entertainment, so games, music, and videos can all be found all over social media. And also watching the stream of updates from friends and other people is a form of entertainment. Methods of relaxation, so social media can be found as quite relaxing, a way of alleviating stress and escaping from reality, as well as passing time and curing boredom whether at home, school, and the workplace. Also things to talk about. Social media provides subject matter for people to talk and gossip about with others, being able to express personal thoughts and opinions, also criticising others and blowing up for a bit of steam. However, the primary use of social media is to sustain personal relationships and keeping in touch with family and friends, as well as upholding their own individuality in their representation of their self-presentation on SNSs. So how is it that we are able to actually examine one's personality on social media? It is through the 5-factor model, or more commonly known as the Big 5 personality test. Because what it is a widely examined theory of 5 broad dimensions used by psychologists to describe and examine the human personality and psyche. So those 5 factors are openness. That's people that tend to be quite curious, intelligent, and imaginative. High scorers tend to be quite artistic and sophisticated in taste and appreciate diverse views, ideas, and experiences. Conscientiousness is the next one. People who are more responsible, organised, and persevering. So conscious individuals are extremely reliable and tend to be high achievers and hard workers and planners. And extroversion, people that are relatively outgoing, amicable, and assertive. Extroverts draw inspiration from social situations and are generally quite friendly, energetic, and upbeat. Agreeableness, people that are cooperative, helpful, and nurturing. People who score highly in this are peacekeepers who are generally optimistic and trusting of others. And finally, neuroticism. These are people that are relatively anxious, insecure, and sensitive. So neurotics are quite moody, tense, and easily tipped into experiencing negative emotions. So why is the Big 5 test so important? The Big 5 personality test allows personality psychologists to study what differentiates one person from another and why we behave the way we do. Personality research, like any science, relies on quantifiable, concrete data which can be used to examine what people are like. So this is where the Big 5 plays an important role. Over the past several years, psychologists have been using the Big 5 to study personality in terms of how it changes over time and how it relates to other variables such as self-esteem and music preferences. So the data allows for a number of interesting findings about personality, especially online versus real life, and we're also able to identify some major patterns and parallels in our own personalities. For example, a strong tendency for people who scored high in extroversion had a high tendency to post pictures of partying, them playing sport, and drinking photos and being social, etc. So online, just so I could uphold their social image. So we need to look at the application of the Big 5 now. So in a study that I looked at, a psychologist looked at 280 subjects, where over 2 weeks, personality was examined through their behavioural tendencies and predicted personalities through first undertaking the Big 5 personality tests and getting a gauge for what the individual's behaviour may be like based on the information, feedback, and results from the testing. The subjects would receive a visual of the 5 domains in a chart format, where people that answered more to a specific domain would receive a greater colour coding in that area, as you can see on the screen. An example being shown here. And the participant who scored highly in the domains of agreeableness and neuroticism. So it's be able to show that you're able to predict the personality of this person. So this person was probably a bit more optimistic and trusting with others, however sometimes quite anxious and a bit tense. So you might argue that the person isn't completely introverted nor extroverted, more so in the middle, so quite a centered and a general personality, one could say. So look at the methodology. In conducting the test, the subjects participated through a Facebook application. So in this process, all public data was gathered from their Facebook profiles, which was then aggregated and quantified and were able to be analysed through an analysis tool. So using these statistics from each of the Facebook users, they were able to develop a model that could predict personality on each of the 5 personality factors within 11% of the actual values. So by looking at a range of different traits in the subjects, these psychologists were able to get a deeper gauge and understanding of specific domains inside the Big Five, and they were looked at to enhance predictability. So through the online testing, consisting of the 5 questions on the Big Five, there were structural features were analysed. So firstly, the users' lists of friends and how many friends they had in total, mutual friends as well. Also personal information, so that's things such as the user's name, birthday, religion, education, history, gender, hometown, etc. So that added finer details to the users and were able to use to help further accurately characterise each subject. Of the 280 users, 111 listed a religion. Within those 111 people, 82 were different entries. And activities and preferences, providing personal activities or favourite things has always been a part of Facebook. So using the users' favourite TV shows, movies, books and quotes, favourite activities, etc. Also, quite importantly, the language feature. The analysis of the language features was pivotal to the success of the test, constantly analysing users' About Me sections, as well as the status updates and blurb responses. So the results and conclusions. Through the experiment, the aim of the test was to bridge the gap between social media and personality research by using the information people reveal in their online profiles. So results concluded there was a definite strong correlation between the reflection of personality traits in the real world and on people's use on social media. The test showed that whilst it wasn't the most accurate method of analysis, it was practical yet effective, so in gathering information for further and more specific research in personality psychology. So things are always changing and improving on social media. An example which may be effective in the future is tweaking the recommended friends list, so where people are suggested to the friends are suggested to the user as potential friends. Previous results on personality and relationships may help potentially indicate that certain personality types are more likely to add one another as friends. So it's things like these that psychologists can work on. By improving our knowledge of this information, we can begin to answer more sophisticated questions about how to present trusted, socially relevant and well presented information to users. Thank you.